Yesterday, Bitcoin saw a huge dump below this huge horizontal support area around the $60,500. And with the higher inflation coming into the market, it was having a bearish effect. But later yesterday and this morning, we saw a beautiful bounce from this level. So this is very bullish to see, of course. And Bitcoin is trying to fool everyone here. In this video, I will discuss Bitcoin on several time frames with you because there are a lot of interesting information showing. I will also have a look at the two altcoins, Ethereum and Chainlink, but about that later in the video. I will also have a look at the CPI data for Bitcoin, the Ethereum ETFs and also the Bitcoin ETFs inflow because there is a lot of interesting data showing, so you don't want to miss any of this. So watch this video all the way to the end, like the video and let's dive right into the charts. As I was saying, on a daily time frame we can see that Bitcoin was at this huge horizontal support level and we fell below this level and everyone was panicking because we fell below the $60,000 and we came all the way to the $58,000, so this is looking very bearish of course. But later we saw this nice wick occurring and we are now seeing a beautiful bounce to the top side. So let's see if Bitcoin can see a big bounce from this huge horizontal support level, and that would of course be very bullish because then Bitcoin could create this new higher low structure and then come back for a new higher high potentially. And then we can just continue the bullish uptrend to the top side, and this would have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. So for now, Bitcoin is at this huge horizontal support, and today we will see the last trading day of the week with the Bitcoin ETFs. So let's see if we can see a bounce from this level and create more bullish price action. And if we then zoom all the way back into the 1 hour time frame, we can see this downtrend is unfolding for Bitcoin, and eventually I think this downtrend will be broken to the top side. So this huge downward sloping resistance line is unfolding, and every time we touch this level we saw a rejection from this level. And currently we're trading around this resistance area, so let's see if Bitcoin can force a break of this huge trendline resistance and retest the resistance as support. And from there you could potentially enter the market for Bitcoin in a long, so this could be a very interesting trade to make. And then after that we will see an exponential move to the top side, and if we break this downward sloping resistance line, the top side of this resistance line will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the $64,000. So let's see if we can see a breakout today. But we potentially also see a bear scenario play out, and that we're going to see a rejection, and then we have to aim for lower levels. And yesterday the CPI numbers came in and there was a little bit more than expected. The CPI data was expected to come in for a 2.3%, but it came in at 2.4%, so this was a little bit having a bearish effect on the markets. And we can see also the jobless claims were the highest since August in 2023. So this was a little bit more bullish than bearish. And yeah, this was having a little bit of a bearish effect on the markets. So that's why we saw this huge dump to the downside. But after that, we saw a nice wick unfolding. And now we're seeing a little bit more upside for Bitcoin. But however, Bitcoin also came from this huge rising wedge. And 2 days ago, we broke to the downside. And now we're seeing a little bit more upside. And as I was saying to you yesterday, we could potentially see a retest of this previous support to turn it into resistance and make a bearish retest. And then we can aim for lower targets. So if we're going to see a retest of this previous support, then you could enter the market in a short for Bitcoin. This could also be a very interesting trade to make. But however, we of course want to invalidate this pattern, and that we're coming back to this topside resistance, because that would of course have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. And then we can still see this higher low structure and higher high structure and just continue the uptrend for Bitcoin on the daily time frame. And let's then have a look at this chart with horizontal resistance and support levels. We can see that Bitcoin was falling below this level, and then I was saying the big next support will be around the $58,000, but that's not what we get, what we hit, because we're now creating this wick to the downside, and Bitcoin is holding its support strong around the $60,500. So let's see if we can see a bounce from this level, and the next big resistance for Bitcoin will be around the $64,000. So we could potentially hit the $64,000 in the coming days. But if we're going to see a break below this level, then we have to aim for lower levels, and then we will see Bitcoin around the $58,000 again. But for now, this support is holding strong, and just like in the past, we see a lot of touch points at this level, and every time we touch this level, we saw a nice spike to the top side. So let's see if Bitcoin also can create a huge bounce today and you see a spike to the top side. And yesterday, the Bitcoin ETFs had a bit of a bearish day again. We saw BlackRock was having its 5th day of outflow since the start of the ETF, since the 5th of January 2024 of course. We also see a big outflow of Fidelity and also of the ARK Invest Bitcoin ETF. So we in total had a net outflow of 81.1 million, so this was a little bit more bearish of course. And now we are seeing a little bit of a decline since the all-time high. and currently we are at a total of $18.5 billion of inflow, so this is of course bullish for the Bitcoin ETFs, but we want to see that next spike to the top side, and that we're coming to this $20 billion mark, and that of course will have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. So today is the last week of trading for the US markets, so let's see if the Bitcoin ETFs can see another bullish day to end the week strong. And on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is still in this huge broadening wedge formation. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and also on the lower side we can see a lot of touch points as support. And every time we touch this area on the support zone, we saw a big bounce to the top side, but also on the top side we saw a rejection every time. And currently we are a little bit in the higher ranges of this huge broadening wedge formation. So let's see if Bitcoin can come back to this huge top side resistance, and that will be around the $66,000 or $67,000. So this could of course have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin, and then we also can create a new higher high after this previous high. And then of course we want to see a breakout to the top side, a retest of the formation to turn it into support, and then we can aim for higher targets. And then of course if we are going to break these horizontal resistance areas, then we can aim for a new all-time high. And while everyone was panicking yesterday because of a huge drop below the $60,000, I'm always looking at this huge bull flag formation on the weekly time frame. So after this huge run up, we are now seeing a consolidation of almost 8 months. So this is of course a little bit it's boring, this sideways price action. But we also see a huge support area coming into play, and every time we touch this area we saw a big bounce to the top side. So let's see if this huge bull flag will break out in the coming weeks, and if it does, we will see a huge exponential move, and it will be the start of the next bull run. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Ethereum. We can see Ethereum is in this chart with horizontal support and resistance lines, and we can see every time we touch a certain area we see a price interaction unfolding. Currently we are at this huge support area, and after the pump we have to paint this area green because it's now turned into support, because we can see that this support is holding strong for now, and we also want to see this new spike to the top side. So if we can see a bounce from this level, the next big resistance for Ethereum will be around the $2,650, and that of course will have a bullish effect on the price of Ethereum. But potentially we could also see a bearish scenario play out from this level, and that we have to aim for lower levels, and then the big first support will be around the $2,100. So let's see what will happen for Ethereum in the coming days, because this is a true make or break point. And if we have then a look at another chart of Ethereum, we can see this price squeeze is unfolding. So the price is getting compressed into this apex, and eventually we will see a huge breakout. So we are currently bouncing from this lower side support, and we want to come back to this top side trend line resistance, and of course force a break to the top side, retest this resistance as support, and then aim for higher targets. And so if Ethereum is going to play out this scenario, we will have a lot of bullish price action in the coming weeks. So let's see what Ethereum can do, and if we're going to see a bounce from this level. And yesterday the Ethereum ETFs had a bit of a bullish day. We saw that BlackRock is buying Ethereum, so this is looking very beautiful to see. And of course we don't see a lot of inflows or outflows into the Ethereum ETFs, so this could be the start of something very bullish. And the next altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. We can see Chainlink was in this huge falling channel to the downside with multiple touch points on the top side as resistance and also on the lower side as support. And we saw a huge breakout to the top side. We retested this formation as support, and from there we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. But then we came to a huge horizontal resistance, was a little bit too strong, and we saw a rejection from this level. So we're now coming back to this huge horizontal support for Chainlink, and this is the support to hold, because if we're going to break this support to the downside, then we have to aim for bear market lows again. So we don't want to see that of course, and now we want to see this bullish scenario play out, and that we're coming back to this resistance area, break it to the top side, retest it as a support, and then aim for high targets, because the breakout target of this falling channel is still the top side of this channel, and that will be around the $19. So there is still a long road for Chainlink to make, but of course we're now at support, and as I'm always saying, I am always buying at support and selling at resistance. So for potentially you could make a little bit of a trade here, and from buying at the support to this next resistance will be around the 19%. So that's of course also a good trade to make. So let's see what Chainlink will bring us in the coming days. And let me know in the comments if you still hold Link in your portfolio and what your thoughts about Chainlink in the future. Please give a like if you find the video useful. Follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.